Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever we're joining from. My name is Olubenga Ajewale, and I will be the one to walk us through today's section. All right, so let me go ahead and share my screen. So yes, I'd like to start with the question that is on my screen right now. Okay, the question says, can you prove your cyber resilience? Can you prove your cyber resilience? Now, this question is not just asking you how do you feel secure. It's not asking whether you feel secure enough. But the question is, can you prove it? Now, proving it, can you prove it with evidence? Can you prove it to the board of directors in your organization? Can you prove it to the auditors? Can you prove it to your customer? And even, can you prove it to the regulators? Right? And at the end of today's webinar, we'll be able to answer this particular question. That is what I'm hoping for everyone to do, to be able to answer this question. All right. Now, okay, yeah, we can see me again. Okay, I was trying to get us to see me again. Okay. All right, good. Now, before we go ahead, I mean, a lot of attacks have been happening over the years, with data breaches happening worldwide. But I want to just narrow it down to 2024 data breaches that happened. Now, one happened to IBM particularly, right? And this cost IBM over 4.88 million US dollar, right? It happens to, we know IBM. We know that to be cyber conscious should not be their problem. To buy tools to prevent all these attacks should not be their problem. But we'll see the reason why, we'll see what is missing in their cybersecurity framework. Okay. And the same goes for Verizon as well. I believe we all know Verizon, right? And most of the attacks that happen to Verizon are just the normal, I won't say normal, right? But a social engineered attack, more like the phishing emails, the smishing attacks, and the likes. Just someone in the organization clicking on a link that they should not have clicked on, right? A lot of all of these attacks. So I just want to streamline to just these two organizations, just because of who they are and the impact they've had in technologies over the years. Now, if they can get attacked, what about our organizations, right? Are we secure? Are we protected? Are we doing things accordingly, right? Look at the amount it cost IBM as of 2024. So now, one thing I want us to understand is that these organizations, tools is not their problem. Like I said, they had money. They spent monies on firewall tools. They spent monies on EDR tools. They spent monies on SIEM tools. Now, the EDRD, which is the endpoint detection and response tools. Now, they have all these tools. I believe maybe majority of us right now on the call, we don't even have, capabilities to even have these major tools. Now, organizations that can even buy these tools, they are still getting attacked. Not to talk of us that we're just trying to support with the little we have, right? And a lot of these things. Now, organizations that could have gotten all of this still getting attacked. But the gap that is missing there is governance and measurement. They cannot answer what we are protecting, how mature our control is, what is our gap, and how can we show evidence for it, right? It is very important when you're, doing or making sure that you're putting controls in place. You want to show evidence to back all of this up. Now, for IBM and Verizon, money was spent, but maturity wasn't measured. Now, that is a gap that a framework can close. Now, let me now introduce us to NIST CSF 2.0. NIST CSF 2.0. Okay. Now, 2.0 is a major update that happened to the cybersecurity frameworks over the years, since as of 20 I believe 2014. Yes, that was. Now the update happened to the cybersecurity framework around February 2024. Okay, a new release happened. Now the major update was that we now have a lot of functions in it. Okay, we now have a lot of functions in it. We have, okay, now we now have major functions. We have 6 new functions. We have govern, right, which is new to 2.0. Govern is new to 2.0. But let me just walk us through what they have, this particular functions. Now, govern, I'll use an analogy, a tidy the house analogy. So we're painting a scenario here. We want to understand what govern means by using the tidy the house analogy. Okay, now govern is who owns what are the rules, who owns the house and what are the rules. That is govern, right? You want to know who is the owner of this house and what are the rules that apply to this particular house. You want to establish the risk strategies. You want to know the rules, the policy, and all oversight. You want this particular, now that is the question that govern answer, right? This particular function, that is the question it answers. And let's go to identify, right? Identify, still using the tidy the house analogy, all right? The same scenario. What is in the house? Now, identify, as the name implies, you want to identify what is inside the house. You want to identify the asset inventories. You want to identify the business context. You want to identify the risk management, right? You can't protect what you don't know. That's the truth of the of anything. That's like the truth to anything. You can protect what you don't know, right? You have to identify all of this first before you can even go ahead and protect them. Now, let's still go further to protect the next function. Now, we're still definitely using the tidy the house analogy. I hope we're following along. Now, for the protect, it is lock the door and window, right? You're locking the door and window. You're making sure that you have controls over your own cybersecurity, your own infrastructure. You have access controls in place. Awareness training, it is very important. Like I said, social engineering, what you can use to tackle social engineering majorly is conducting an awareness within the stakeholders, making sure that all stakeholders are aware of stakeholders, the employee in the organizations, everybody, non-technical person, technical person, client-facing, everybody. You want to make sure that they are aware. You want to you want to create an awareness training for them, and also data security. You want to put security in place. Now, don't get me wrong when I said that IBM had money to buy all these tools. Tools are very important as well. But if they can't measure their maturity, if they can't know where they are as of right now and where they should be in the next 2-3 months, I mean, you can't really tell what they can't really tell what their progress has been, how they can do better, and others. Right now, let's go to the next function, the fourth function, which is detect. Right, still using the analogy, install alarm system. Right, detect, install alarm system. Alarm system like the SIEM tools, now for you to able to detect information, EDR tools, rather, the endpoint detection and response tools, right? We'll be able to detect information, detect what is really going on, right? Beforehand. Now you installing alarm system, continuous monitoring and anomalies detections, right? Now the functions will help you to string down a lot of security, a lot of information. You'll be able to get a log, right? That will help you to detect that on time. Now, response, the next function, respond. Still using the analogy of tidy the house. What do we do when the alarm goes off? Now, how do you respond to a particular breach? Maybe you've set a particular tools, you've installed an alarm system. Now, what do you do when the alarm goes off? How do you respond to that incident? Now, that is incident response planning. You planning the response, how you're going to respond to that particular incident, you analyze, you communicate, and then mitigation as well, right? And furthermore, to the last one, recover. Now, how do we rebuild and get back to normal, right? How do you rebuild and get back to normal? Okay, the deed is done, an attack has happened, but how do you rebuild and get back to normal? So all of this is what NISCSF, the new function, the 2.0 speaks to. And what was added is the govern. It is new to the NISCSF framework. And now let's talk about how our software and how the software will be able to come up with in the certified GRC. Our software have been able to help break all of this down. Now, our software will help you to measure your cybersecurity, to answer the particular question. The question we started from, let me take us back to that particular question. Can you prove your cyber resilience? Now, proving it, are you proving it with evidence? Can you prove it to the board of directors? Can you prove it to auditors? Can you prove it to the regulators? Now, all of these questions, our software will help you, right, to be able to prove your cyber resilience. Now, measurement is very key. You have to know where you are as of right now and where you should be. That is how you progress when it comes to cybersecurity frameworks. You have to know your current state and where you're going to, right? You have to start measuring your cybersecurity. Now, you measure from, okay, if you're around partial, now, 2, is your risk being informed? Is it repeatable? And is it adaptive, right? We'll look at the software just to give us a bit of a walkthrough of the software itself, and then we can see how every and all of this comes together, how you can use this software to measure accordingly, right? So now, 4 capabilities that closes a gap. One thing we should understand is when we're closing a gap, we want to make sure that we perform gap assessment. You have to understand, you have to score yourself according to cybersecurity, to the CSF 2.0 functions that the software has already been built around. You have to categorize what your current stage is as of right now and where is your target profile is going with a maturity score, right? You have to know your score. Is it the score over 1 to 5? Then where are you? Are you at 2? Are you at 3? Are you at 1.5? Are you at 4? Right? You have to be able to measure your maturity score. And also the risk management when you're trying to close a gap, right? You have to perform risk management. And also your evidence, are they tailored to your particular the particular gap you're talking about or the particular assessment you're trying to carry out. Now, that is what our software have been able to do. The AI intelligence in our software, whenever you're uploading an evidence, measuring your maturity score, trying to know what gap it is, and following up with your assessments, backing it up with evidence, our AI intelligence is going to now explain if this particular evidence matches the assessment you're trying to carry out, right? We'll tell you accordingly what the particular evidence you're trying to carry out is, how it speaks to that particular evidence, and where you are right now, where you should be, all right? And also the CSF native structure. Now, this is everything. We'll have the walkthrough of the software itself in a minute, right? But one major thing that our software also is able to help you answer is the audit workplace. Now, we can call it audit up, but on our platform, we call it audit workplace. Now, in this audit workplace, you can even call an external auditor to come and answer a particular, to perform, to assess you, right? Let me put it like that, to assess you. You see, one thing we should understand, let me take us to the software, the whole software itself, right? One thing we should understand is that software tells you what you are for now, where everything comes together, how you will be able to put everything together, If an auditor comes in now and wants to assess you around NIST, then they start asking you questions. You start looking for where your document is, what in what folder they are, trying to piece everything together. But on our platform, we've been able to have a structure like a whole house, not like a building where you can put every and anything inside. So you have everything structured, and when an auditor comes in, that I'm explaining what the audit hub is going to help us with the audit workplace, right? So that everything is seated inside one application. If they ask for a particular evidence, they can easily click to view that evidence. You don't even need to be there. You don't need to interact. They can go there, assess your entire cybersecurity framework, and give a score, ratings, everything on the portal itself. So that's what the software has been able to help solve. Now, before I jump into showing how everything comes in together, I'd like to ask us, maybe we have any question around this, and then I'll go ahead and show how we piece everything together on the platform. So what are we expecting to see according to what has been listed, according to cybersecurity, the NIST 2.0? What are you expecting to see with the software itself, right? So let me just, if I have anybody, we can just go ahead and, you know, unmute our mic and speak if we have any, or we can put it in the chat room, right? We can write it out if we have any expectations to what you want the software to answer, questions you want the software to answer. So I can just go ahead and show specifically these functions inside the software itself. So anybody, I'll just give us, I'll give us about 2 minutes just to put anything in the chat room, and then I'll read that and give us and go ahead and show the platform itself, right? So let's go ahead and put something in the chat room. And if you want to say that, we can unmute our mic and also go ahead and, okay, I'm just curious. Okay, good. Good. I'm just curious to see how it works. Okay, great. I'm happy. I'll be happy to show you that as well. Good. Okay, any other person? Okay. So we still have about 1 minute, one more minute, one more minute, one more minute. Okay. You mentioned AI. Okay, great. You mentioned AI. I'd like to see how that works in your demo, if it is integrated at all. Oh, great. Yes. Great. Of course. You can't wait to see. All right. Good. I can't wait to show you as well. All right. Okay, let's just get on to it. I mean, we have curious people in the house to see how everything works together, and also the AI integration aspect of the platform. We will show on every and all of that together now. So let me just do, okay, I'm looking forward to see how it works. Okay, great. I can't wait to show you. I can't wait to show you to us as well. So, okay, our time is now. Then we can just go ahead and show the software itself. Okay. So now, currently we okay. All right. So yes, here is the software itself. Here is the GRC Command Center, and here is where you get the overview of everything that is happening in your any action that have been taken, the system health, the audit readiness, the approval controls, the assessment coverage, and then the recent action. Now, here is where you see the workflow pressure. Here is where you get to see the information in chat histories, and also you'll be able to see the maturity by functions. Like I said, if you can't measure your cybersecurity framework, if you can measure where you are right now, and that's a very big issue, and that is where IBM they get it wrong, and Verizon that is where they get it wrong as of 2024. Now we are making sure that all of this gap, we get a report from them, right? We can mitigate them, right? So now for maturity by frameworks, this is where you get to see it, govern, identify, protect, and the likes. And also you get to see your risk mixture. And yeah, this is just a GRC center, more like the interface. And also you get to see a real time if your maturity score improves, and just a notification such as that. Not to pause with any of this, let's go straight to it, right? So we have the assessment itself, right? If you want to perform assessment on the cybersecurity. Now, this is continued, but I'll go ahead to show us the functions, how everything now went in here to give us how everything applying to each other. We have the govern, identify, protect, detect, respond, and recover. And this is where we have to perform actions. And also we get to see overview of actions that have been performed. We get to see more like a little chart of what the detected gaps are, what our maturity level is, and also the completion rate for each one, and our audit readiness, if we are even ready at all. Now, this is our readiness score, the audit readiness. Now, according to this particular chart, it's saying that this organization is not ready, right? You can see the audit readiness. You can see the audit readiness, right? They are around 21%. They are not up to getting that sorted. Now, let's go ahead. Let me just show us where I'll go ahead and click continue, right? I'll go ahead and continue. So this is one document has already been uploaded. Now, if you want to upload documents, you can connect to your external tools as well. External tools being said, you have your AWS, your Google Cloud, your OneDrive, you have Amazon, you have GCP, we have AWS connectors, we have Azure and the likes. This will be coming soon. And also you can upload directly from your local drive. You can just click on it and then upload the document directly. Now, a document has been uploaded just for the sake of section, not to, stall on a lot of things. Now, here is where you click Analyze via AI, right? Okay, temporary unavailable. Let me go ahead and reload the. Okay. Oh, all right. So we come back to this. We come back to see the AI functionalities in a minute. That's okay. We'll come back to see the AI functionalities in a minute. So yeah, we have the gap analysis, and then whatever assessment is being carried out around the assessment, around when you're performing assessment, when you click on your assessment and then you're performing any of your assessments, maybe you want to perform, are you currently doing this, and then you perform any actions. So you get a real-time information here. So you can go ahead and click on gap analysis. And from gap analysis, you can go ahead and, perform actions on the active gap. So you can click here to open your active gap. And when you click to open your active gap, you can go ahead and fill in the root cause, perform a remediation actions, and also select the completion date, right? And after that, you can go ahead. Now, a lot of them has been answered. Now you have in progress. We have some in progress, as you can see over here. We have some in progress. Now the evidence is being logged, and also there are some that are already treated. Now, anyone that is being treated, they automatically come to the reporting section of the software itself, right? And then we have the risk assessment. Now, this is where you perform assessment, you perform the risk assessment on each on each function, right? So you can go ahead and click here to perform an assessment. You can select the group, the asset group, the asset itself, the threat, the vulnerabilities, the risk owner, and others. You can go ahead to select. Now, when all of that is being selected, you get a likelihood score of everything everything is being carried out on the platform now. From the gap analysis to the risk assessment, all of these are being carried out on the platform. And also you get to state who is the item owner, the risk owner, and others, right? So you have all of that being carried out on the platform. And here is the evidence repository. So any evidence that is being uploaded on the gap analysis, if you upload any evidence here or you upload any evidence on the from here as well, right? When you upload an evidence from here, you get real information, real-time information of that particular evidence itself. Inside here, it automatically syncs. You get to get everything together inside here. And here is a unified view. And also, if you want to now say that you want to upload directly, this is where you get to upload directly. If you upload directly from here, you get to map it to a particular function. You get to map each evidence to a particular function. Now, most of them are downloaded locally. This is downloaded from OneDrive, from the cloud, and the likes. Now, this is where you link to an assessment if you upload directly from here. Okay, and everything, if you perform an assessment, you perform gap analysis, you perform risk assessment, the evidence, everything is being mapped to reporting section. Now, in the reporting section is where you get to see everything comes together, right? An assessment is being carried out from the assessment section. This is it. You have the maturity score, and also for the gap analysis and the remediation, the strategy. You get to see the gap analysis that was carried out here. You get to see the root cause and the action plan that was stated and the expected dates, right? You get to map everything out. And also the comprehensive risk assessment, the risk assessment that was carried out around this section, right? So you get to see that we have the risk descriptions, the asset group assessed, the vulnerabilities, everything that was imputed when carrying out all those assessments. You get to see everything here, right? And also you can now submit this for review. When you submit this for review, that means you're inviting an auditor to come and review you, right? And here is our audit workspace. All right. Now, I believe someone will have a question around how will I give this platform? How will I allow an auditor to come onto this platform? Now, how do you allow an auditor how do you invite an auditor onto this platform? Here is where you go to. Now, you being the administrator of this particular account, what you need to do is to go here. Now, you click on settings. When you go to settings, you go to, this is your account, go to users and permission. And under users and permission, you can go ahead and add users, right? So when you add users, you go ahead and state their name. After stating their names and their email address, and also here is where you get to see the roles. Now the roles, let me do this a little bit. Okay, good. Here is where you get to see the roles. You get to pick which role. Now, when you pick auditor, we can look at the view and edit, right? You can see there are lots of functions that was let out, right? So for an auditor should not be able to perform an action here or even view the action. So because everything is being mapped out to a report, so an auditor should not be able to see into reports, because if it is not being submitted, then they should not be able to see it. But if it is being submitted, this is the auditor section. They should be able to view, and also they should be able to edit. Now that is their section to write and edit onto this platform, right? So that's how you invite an auditor onto the account itself. Now, for an auditor that wants to assess your govern as a function, now all they have to do is to go here, right? They will see the evidence, they will see the questions, and then they will be able to see the evidence as well. They will be able to select what they think your maturity score is as of right now. Is it on initial? Is it on repeatable? Is it defined? Is it managed? And is it optimized, right? So the gap analysis, they will assess that as well. They will go ahead to assess. They give you overall comment. Go ahead and give overall comment, and they can ask you to request review, ask you to review this. Now, if you're sending it to an internal auditor, right? If you are allowing an internal auditor onto the platform and they go ahead and ask you to request review, they want you to review your particular, you know, assessment that you've performed. So that's where everything comes together. And also on the approved controls. Now, anything that has been approved, anything, if an auditor goes come in here and click approve for a particular control. Now, when they click approve for a particular control, it comes to approve controls. But if they click request review for a particular controls, it automatically comes down to continuous improvement. Now, for approved control, this is where you get to see the list of approved controls. You get to see which one is doing best. As you can see, we have govern, and then you can filter by categories. You can pick which one is one, and then you can also identify them by the newest approved controls, right? And also for continuous improvement. Now, what do you need to improve on? Which one in particular do you need to improve on? So this is where you get to see them in progress. And also, once you click resume rework, they automatically, because this is under, okay, this is for the gap assessment and the risk assessment. This is what was called under risk assessment and gap assessment. Then you can click on this. So if you click on this, now it automatically takes you to the gap analysis to now perform gap analysis on it. As you can see, this is a resume draft, right? You previously entered root first and tells you what you've been able to. As you can see, this is being listed up here to tell you that you have to, you're being asked to review this by an auditor, right? So this is how everything mapped into one. So yeah, but that's one of the controls. That's one of how AI is going to analyze the data, which I can show us right now. Some reason. All right, and not to dwell more on that. So this is how everything connects to each other. And for your risk assessment as well, we have the risk register. You can go ahead to export all of this, all the assets. You can go ahead to export it out, and it will export in CSV. You get a report, and you can see this is downloaded. Every and all of this is being downloaded. Now, if you need to send it out of the platform, if you need to have this information and send it out of the platform, of course, you'll be able to export a CSV, right? And also for the evidence, right, you will have all the informations, everything being accurate here. Now, you being the administrator of the platform, you will be able to, add users. Like I said, you can also add implementers, right? You can add implementers and you can add auditors. And also, you can even assign another administrator to your account. All right. So that is how everything we perform all these functions together inside the NISCSF, and that's how everything comes together. So, will we have any question? Well, before we go ahead, right? Let me continue to share my screen because we have an assessment for us to carry out. Now, to really ask us a question around this, I think, okay, to ask a question around this, to know what our maturity score is as of today, right? To know where we are as of right now, according to cybersecurity, in our cybersecurity life cycle, right? Where are we as of today? And we want to perform a live assessment. So I want everybody to go to this, navigate to this particular URL. So moderator, please, I would like you to drop it into the chat room, right? The link to this, if you'll be so kind enough, please help drop this into the chat room, right? You drop that into the chat room. Okay, good. Thank you so much. Okay. So yes, that is our software and that is how it maps everything to one another. Now, the AI intelligence is very important. So we'll make sure to, absolutely, I can even tell you why it's giving me temporary unavailable, but yeah, it will be dealt with. Right, so that is how everything maps together. So is there anything you like to ask, any questions I would like to ask? Any question do we have around the software itself? Do you want me to showcase other things? Okay, great. Now the moderator have dropped in, apologies. So now the moderator have dropped in the link to that particular assessment. So let's go ahead and click on this particular link. Okay, it is, all right. So let's click on this link. So when we click on the link, it's going to take us to this particular interface. So it's going to take us to this particular interface. So I want us to click on take assessment, take the quiz. Now, how mature is your cybersecurity program in your organization? How mature are you? Right? Is your cybersecurity program, rather, pardon. So now you want to take a quiz, you want to take a 3-minute quiz, and then you get to answer questions around government just to map how mature are you. All right. So please, let's do that real quick. Let's perform that, and then let's share our results on the group. Let's get to see what we have, where we have so right now. Let's get to see how everything, how mature is our cybersecurity program, right? Our cybersecurity in our own organization. How mature are we, right? So now let's go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and perform that action. All right, thank you everyone. Please, let's go ahead. Let's keep doing that. Let's, if we are not done yet, let's go ahead and click the assessment and perform that action, right? Let's go ahead and do that. Okay. All right, moderator, yeah, over to you. Please. Thank you.
Thank you so much for this insightful session. Thank you, Mr. Benga. Thank you for the valuable talk right now. So please, I would encourage every one of us to take the test, and please let's share our results in the chat box. It's just going to take 2 minutes of our time. You can click on the link, and then it's going to take us to the assessment. So please, while we wait on that, please drop your test results.
All right, please, let's share our test results. Let's see so that we can, let's see where we are. So right now, let's see our maturity score. So let's discuss about this, right? Please. Anybody, do we have our score as of now? Do we have our score right now? Are we taking the free assessment to assess where we are as of right now? Are we doing that right now? Let's just give take some minutes to do that. Okay. And if anybody would like to, I can share my screen, and then if anybody would volunteer to answer the quiz with me, to assess your organization. So I'll share my screen and then project that. So you give me, if anybody would like to do that, we can just show by raising up our hands to assess our organization. And if we like, we can just do it personally, right? Do we have it now? Do we have it? All right, let me just give us about 2 more minutes. I don't know. Let's give about 2 more minutes by 5:51 Nigerian time. That's 12:51 over there. All right, do we have it? Do we have our report, the maturity report? Do we have it? Roger, do we have it? Oyewale, did you perform the assessment? Did you get anything? Vanessa, Ivoryland, did you perform any assessment? Did you get it? Okay, great. If you'll be so kind enough, Vanessa, to share that in the chat room, right? Please go ahead and share it in the chat room. So let's discuss about it. Now, okay, good, good. So let's go ahead and share it in the chat room, right? So let's have a discussion real quick about it. We can go ahead and unmute ourselves as well. Vanessa, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. We can speak. Sibat, tell us what the score is, what the report says. What is your maturity score as of right now? Let's discuss about it. And if you would like to share it to the chat room, the report itself, that would be kind, right? So, right. What's the report saying? What is your organization maturity score? What's your report saying? Right. You have it. Okay, great. Right. Oh, good. All right. So we have. All right. Thank you so much, Vanessa. Thank you. So now let's give a minute to discuss your organization maturity score right now. So I believe everyone can see the report. So this is how it comes out as. This is how it maps everything together. Now, you get to see what your score is out of 5.0. You get to see it. Now, you get to see is it defined, right? Now, what are the gaps? Now, according to the answer questions, we've been able to spot out 4 gaps, right? The assessment you carried out was able to spot out 4 gaps from it, and then the gap rate is 25%, and then the readiness is this. And also, I want you to know that this is just it just asks you a few questions around 3 major functions, not the entire one itself, right, Vanessa? So now, to really carry out the full assessment, you can go ahead and send a message to the one down below to get that. Also, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Do we have any other person? Right? So that's how you get to see it. This is where you get to measure your this is where you get to measure your organization maturity score. Okay. Now the maturity score spans from 1 to 5. Now 1 being the initial and 2 being the optimized, and 3 being the defined, and 4 being the and 5 being the optimized, right? Thank you so much.
All right. So thank you, Vanessa, for sharing your maturity test results. So if you would like more practical insights about cybersecurity updates and resources like today's webinar, and also if you would like to use the platform for 30 days, you could send us a message, or better still, I'm going to drop a link in the chat box right now. So you could request to use our platforms for the next 30 days. So also, I'm also going to implore each and every one of us, because I know that most of us here, this is the first time you find out about certified GRC, and I would like to implore each and every one of us to follow our page. So I just dropped the link in the chat box, the link to our LinkedIn page. So on there, you're going to get we're going to we usually share regular content how to help organizations to build, to measure, and to also, most importantly, to measure their cyber resilience. So it was really great having every one of us on the call here today, and we hope that we learned something. So if it's feedback you would like to share, please drop it in the chat box, or you could unmute your mic and speak. And please don't forget that we are also happy to offer a 30-day free trial where we could have you on board. You could use the platform for free. Your organizations test all of these, implement all of these that we just discussed. So if you would like to also do that, please, you could drop it. You could send us a message here. And oh, thank you, Vanessa. Deep insights on what goes into risk and compliance. Thank you so much. And it was really great to have you. So right now, we'll be rounding up. So thank you everyone for spending the last hour with us. And we truly appreciate your time and also your engagement. And we hope to see you at our next webinar and also to have you onboarded on the platform. So please, if you'd like to use the platform, please don't forget to send us a message or just drop it in the chat and we would reach out to you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Said. Thank you. Of course, most definitely. So the recording is available. And yes, we're definitely going to send it to you, to your emails for those who registered and those are on the call. So we'll send the recording to you. Thank you, Said, for this, for your speech. Thank you so much. So we truly hope to see you all again in our next webinar and to also have you on board. So have a wonderful day, everyone, and goodbye.